my sunshines, I'm Sophie, aka TΑM, as per my Vietnamese name. As you might hear, I'm French. As you can see, I'm Asian, actually Vietnamese. I have a Vietnamese background. I was born and raised in France, and I'm currently living in Vietnam, Saigon, since quite a long time now. And I could have observed many interesting profiles in here. My passion lies in connecting with one another. Hence, I've decided to host a talk show by creating this entertaining and inspirational channel. The purpose of this channel? Interviewing inspiring entrepreneurs and like-minded people in order to inspire you guys. I want to address my videos to you who is too afraid to make the first move, you who might be stuck in that life circle, you who is passionate about something but is not in the right place right now, you who just love binge watching YouTube videos as myself. And I may want to confess, I am freaking scared of exposing myself online. I've taken ages to edit this first video because of my fears. But knowing that I only got that one life, I don't want to waste no time regretting things I haven't dared doing or trying. I'm like, let's just give it a try. I aim to reach as many people as I can, from Asia to America to Africa and everywhere else in the world. So I'll be speaking English and I might be using French sometimes. I do welcome constructive feedbacks on how I can improve the way I conduct my talk show. I deeply hope you will get inspired after watching this. Hi, hello guys, welcome to my channel. So my name is Sophie. I'm here with this beautiful Milena today, and I'm gonna make an interview with her to get to know her more because she inspires us so much. So let's start.
My pleasure to be here. Hi everyone.
So how do you feel today?
I'm feeling very happy and inspired to be here. And when you invite me to join your project, I immediately say yes, because I think a lot of women now want to spread their ideas and share their experience and inspire others, but not many have taken action like you.
Yes.
So you set up this whole thing, then you invite me, so very happy to be here to support you.
I'm so glad that for your words that you say to me. So could you make us a quick introduction of yourself?
Yes, so I think the most important thing you guys can know about me is what I'm passionate in. So I'm passionate in healing the planet. I know it sounds really hippie and really big, but
really cliche.
But ever since I was small, I already knew that my mission is to heal the planet somehow. And when I was 20, in one of my trips abroad to Africa, that's when I really saw poverty. And that's when I really understood that my mission in healing the planet is done by empowering the people, especially the women. So basically what I'm here to do is to heal the planet by empowering the women to reclaim our inner powers and to live our purpose fully.
Wow, so this is really amazing. And I would like to know, how did you know that you wanted to do that? How did you have this wake-up call? I saw all your TED Talks and that inspired me a lot. How old were you when you did your first one?
I was 23. I was 24 when I did my first TEDx talk.
Okay.
Yes.
Was it, in which country was it?
It was in Vietnam. I did 2 other in Malaysia.
In Malaysia? Okay. I know that you were at the head of an association called ACE.
Yes.
So I would like to know more about that.
I think that story was that when I was born in Hanoi. And many people ask if I travel abroad or if I study abroad. To be honest, I didn't study abroad. I was born and raised and educated in Vietnam. And ever since I was small, I always felt like I was like average. I didn't feel that I was anything special about me. My family was very average. I wasn't born in a rich family. I wasn't receiving a privileged education or private education, anything. So I worked with ISEC as a volunteer. I became the vice president of ISEC in Vietnam, working full-time in the national office in Ho Chi Minh City.
Going one day in Africa.
Yes.
And what was the point to go there, and
why there? Did you have a project there?
Yes.
Or how did you find the country?
It's one of my most important story, actually. So the story started when I was working as a volunteer in AIESEC in Hanoi. I was the president of AIESEC in Hanoi, and as part of being a local chapter president, you can go to a global conference. So once a year, AIESEC organizes its biggest global conference, brings together young people in 125 different countries, and that year it was in Kenya. And I did not have money to go to Kenya, and my parents would give me money to go to Kenya. And so I thought to myself, well, I really want to go to that conference, so I'm just going to go raise money. And everybody told me that, well, who's going to give you money to go to this conference in Africa? And I told them, well, we'll see. So I think that a lot of time, many people wait for the resource to come to them, or they think that they can only get an opportunity if they are rich, meaning that they have resource. But being resourceful is much more important than having the resources. So I was being resourceful, and I was very afraid actually, but I did it afraid anyway. I went to different networking events, talked to different business owners. I told them that I believe that Vietnamese youth voice deserve to be heard, and I want to represent Vietnamese young people, especially women, in this global conference. And within a couple of weeks, I raised more than $2,000 was just enough for me to fly to Kenya, pay for the conference, and stay there. So, but the story did not end there. I was there in Kenya, and that was this 10 days conference. It was great. But I think the most enriching experience happened to me before and after the conference. So before the conference, I did not have the money to stay in a hotel, so I just crashed at one of the local members. He took me around just to see the street of Kenya. And you know, I grew up in a developing country. Vietnam is a developing country, but I live in the city. And I think growing up in the city, we did not really understand poverty. But when we go abroad, our senses are open, and we pay more attention. So I remember that day, I saw a woman on the sidewalk. So imagine a woman, she sat next to a huge mansion, but behind her was just this dead, barren land, and she was naked from the, her top was open, so she had bare breast, and she was so skinny, and she was holding a baby in her arms, and that baby was so skinny too, and she was trying to breastfeed the baby. And I never forget that, and I remember looking into her eyes, and it just stuck in me, and that was a moment when I knew that I am meant to be here to help empowering women. It was part of my mission. I think a lot of people are now asking themselves what is their life purpose, what is their role in contributing to the world, and I think it is, if we pay attention to our emotions, we will know. What are the moments when you feel that you are touched really deeply? So the key is to really pay attention to how you feel, because that is going to give clues to what matters to you. I think now the danger is that we are quite disconnected with our emotions. We are so busy up here, and that's why it might hold us back from being able to really clarify our life purpose.
So what would be your advice to really focus on your emotion and to really acknowledge them and accept them?
I think emotional intelligence right now is one of the most important skills. It is simply to be able to aware of how you are feeling, to be able to name your emotions, and to have the skills to transmute that emotion into productive actions. So I think there are two tendencies. One side, we are super disconnected to how we feel. We suppress our own emotion. We try to numb it. We are afraid of it, and then we use other things like Netflix or foods or shopping in order to help ourselves numb our emotions. Or the other spectrum is that you are so caught up with your own emotion that it becomes your masters. You become emotionally reactive, you feel angry, and then you act in an angry way. So that's like the two sides, but there is a middle way of being aware of how you're feeling, understand the informations behind your emotion, because each emotion comes to tell you something, and then transmute that energy of emotion into an action that is empowering. Yeah.
And I know that you are also conducting programs to heal people.
Yes.
So inside the program, what kind of exercise, for example, do you do to help us to not numb the emotion?
Yes.
Mm.
So
Do you have an example?
yes, we can actually do right now.
Okay.
You can do it me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So you can do it me.
Okay.
You can uncross your legs. I used to be a meditation and yoga teacher. So
Okay.
I had a
Sure.
meditation and yoga center in Hanoi. So we use a little bit of mindfulness practice. I think mindfulness as a tool is one of the most powerful for us to be self-aware.
So simply just to relax yourself, take a deep breath, and to let yourself land. And I want you to pay attention to your body for a moment. Emotion exists in the body.
And normally what we do is that we are spinning around in our own head, going from thoughts to thoughts, but we are not really paying attention to our body. So now as you breathe, take a big
Inhale to your lower belly. A soft exhale. And then I want you to just notice how your chest feels. Purely physical sensation.
So can you just notice and can you name one of the emotions that you're feeling right now?
I'm feeling free.
Is there anything else you notice? And all emotions are good emotions. There's no such thing as bad emotions.
Yeah.
So all of them are great. So you're feeling free. What else?
And relaxed.
Relaxed.
And grateful.
Grateful.
Yes.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah.
So there it is. That's basically emotional intelligence, right? And when you are feeling into these emotions, right now you are doing this and you're feeling grateful, free, and relaxed. What does it tell you about this kind of activity for you?
It's really a good sensation. Like I'm actually currently like going out of my comfort zone to like have the day to interview and starting something by myself. So I feel that I can do it and feel really happy that you are next to me right now.
Well, I'm guessing with your emotion, it can tell you that what you are doing is the right path. This align with your true self because you're feeling free. Whenever we are doing something that is aligned with our life purpose, we're feeling free and alive and expansive. Whenever we are doing something that is disaligned with our purpose, misaligned with our purpose, we're feeling like
in
shrinking,
a cage.
in a cage. We're feeling achy, we are feeling dead. So those two different feelings, and if you are aware of your emotions step by step, it's almost like an inner compass system for you to tell whether you are on purpose or when you are off. And when you are off purpose, just like redirect yourself to be on purpose again. Yeah. So now she's feeling a lot of positive emotions, which is great. If there was another situation where she felt a lot of what I call negative emotion, but actually they are not bad, all informations are great, they are all messengers and information. If Sophie were feeling emotion like anger or pain or sadness or depressions, then will be another set of tools for you to like decode what it means, what is behind those emotions, and so you can gain more self-awareness and then take action to be more aligned to your right path.
So what if I was feeling like negative emotion? How would I know the real reason? How do you deal with that when you are feeling like...
When was the last
really
time
like,
you felt negative emotion?
The last time.
Can you reveal to
maybe 3 days ago.
What happened?
I was really stressed out and I cried all night long because I didn't know what was my life. You know, like
I see.
That
You don't need to share more, but can you name the biggest emotion that you felt in that day? Fear, okay.
Yes.
How did feel like in the body? Can you go back to that situation and just notice? How did it feel like in the chest?
I feel like I'm petrified and I cannot like move my body.
You cannot move
I cannot
your body.
move it.
It's a freezing.
Yeah, it's freezing
sensation.
and you are like stuck and you don't know how to do it to release yourself.
So here's the clue. We feel an emotion because we think a thought. So thought, emotion, action. You think a thought, you feel an emotion leads to action. Because emotion is energy in motion. But an emotion just doesn't exist on its own without a thought behind it. So in this case, Sophie was feeling fear. As an emotion, it means that there must be a thought related to fear. So if you go back to that situation and you feel into the emotion in a curious way, and you find one thought that is at the core of that fear, a fearful thought. What was that? I'm doing coaching, by the way, right now. I'm like coaching her. So, what is that thought?
Do I need to say it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you say that thought?
That I'm not. I'm in lack of skills. That I'm not legit.
I'm not legit. I am a fraud. Who am I to do these things? I don't have enough skills.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people have these thoughts. So this is a very popular thought among many minds. Most of those negative or like fearful thoughts are very, they're popular. A lot of people have that. So definitely, you're not the only one who have that thought. So I am not skilled enough. Who am I to do this? I'm not legit. I'm a fraud. So now you look at that thought, right?
Yeah.
You know that behind the fear are those fearful thoughts. Your mind creating thoughts, like your heart beating, and trying to stop the mind from thinking is like trying to stop your hair from growing. You don't have control over it. So the problem is not having a thought. The problem is that we are believing in that thought. In that moment when your mind was telling you that, Sophie, you are lack of skill, you're not good enough, you are a fraud, you're not legit, you believe in it. And therefore you have an emotional reaction towards it, right?
Stories.
Yes, because that was the story.
Yeah.
And you believe in the story. What if you can watch that thought pass your mind and just go, okay. That's what we are aiming for.
Meditation, right?
Yes, it's meditation help, mindfulness help to be able to do that non-reactivity towards our own mind, because the mind is a great servant, terrible master, and the mind makes us its slave through the thought that we don't question. Right? So we're telling yourself a story and you end up believing in that story. But what if you start questioning it? It might not be true. Is it really true?
Yeah.
Is it really
Is it
true
the
that
absolute
I'm not enough?
truth?
Is it an absolute truth? Yes, you were in the event, you knew what to do. Then you start to unhook yourself from that thought. And when you stop believing in that thought, now you have power. Now you start becoming the master of your mind. Yes.
Okay, thank you for this 10 minutes coaching, Milena.
Yes, and the skills is so important, because what do we have at the end of the day? It's not about the money. Money you can always get more, right? What you have at the end of the day to live your best life and follow your purpose is your mind, your emotions, your heart, your mind, your heart, and your hands, right? And your soul. And if we are not mastering how to use those things, then we're not really equipped in order to live our best life. We already have it. We just need to learn how to use them.
Yes. We have everything within.
We have everything we need. I would encourage you to lean into the possibility that you already have it. You are enough already. Inside you are enough already. What you really need to do is get out of the way by questioning all the thought that is holding you back, and start taking action. And when you start taking action, you will be shown what you need to do. And as you are progressing in your projects, in your path, you can get MBA or get skills or whatever, but never let preparation to just be another way to procrastinate. When people tell me that they procrastinate and they told me that they think that they're lazy, it's almost always never the case. We never procrastinate because we are lazy. We procrastinate because we are afraid. And so it's very important to see that. And when you procrastinate, just the skill is to be aware that you are procrastinating, and to be aware that there might be something that you're afraid of. And then feel into that fear and understand again what is the thought behind it.
Yeah, always like questioning our thoughts.
Yes, what is the
Finding
thought
the
behind the fear? Because the fear would not be there if there was no thought behind it.
Sure.
And so that's one thing. And that is going to help you bring your fear down to a manageable level. But I still think that if you are having a big dream and if you are working towards something very important for you, you will be always afraid. At some point, like in a certain level, and now here is my favorite tip. Do it afraid. Just do it afraid.
I agree.
Like, I think that you're afraid
I'm
right now
afraid.
at some degree, and I think I'm afraid too. I don't know, I'm just so used to doing it afraid that I just can't differentiate between fear and excitement. I just feel very excited.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get rid of fear even to be able to do what you do. Just feel the fear and do it afraid. You can bring your fear with you to the meeting, to the interview, to the stage, to the whatever, death.
Yes.
To your work table or office, you just bring your fear with you and do what you need to do. That's it. At the end of the day, I think that fear is no longer an excuse for you to not follow your path anymore. At one point, we all need to decide whether we will.
It's a matter of choices.
Yes, we will eventually need to dare to decide whether we want to live in fear and in a cage, or we want to step out there and be free.
I know that you have a finance degree.
Oh yes.
So,
how do you know?
Don't worry, I do my research.
She knows.
So
My dirty secret.
how come did you want to do finances because of your parents, or how come you did the finance degree and then just now you become a kind of coach life?
So I am going to correct, I do not have a degree.
Okay.
I don't have a university degree. There you go, you all know
Okay.
it. I finished all of my study, so I complete my study, but I never sort of graduate.
Okay.
Because I went and took gap year for so many years, and when I came back to my university, they were like, sorry, too long. We can't give you a degree anymore. So I don't have a degree, to be honest, and I really don't care. Why I study finance? My mother was a doctor, my dad was an engineer, and so they wanted me to be either a doctor or an engineer.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't want to be a doctor or an engineer. I wanted to pursue another path. I wanted to become an architect or a fashion designer, or to go and study art. But I was too afraid for it. So I went for something that was trendy among my peers, which was business. And finance. But I don't think I regret that decision because I think that everything that we did in our past was never a waste. It was a stepping stone toward our future. I think that a lot of people, when they think about changing their career path, especially after a couple of years of working, when they are in their end 20, 30 or 40s, they think that changing into a new career path would mean to throw away everything they've worked for. That is so not true, because everything that you've had, all the experience, no matter what it was, it is part of you and it's going to make you even more successful in whatever new path that you choose. So you take everything with you. I decided to stop what I was doing back then in 2014 because I was depressed. Because I was I was depressed and I was alone. I didn't tell anybody because I was ashamed of my depression. That's the thing about mental illness, right? People who are have mental health issues, they don't share that with other people. So I was at such a rock bottom in my life that I knew that I needed to make a change. So yeah, So I want to share, if anyone who's watching this, if you are suffering right now, or if you are going through a dark time, this morning I posted a post on my Instagram. I say that within your suffering lies the seed of enlightenment. So if you are suffering, knows that this might be a place where you find something very important for you, and this might be an opportunity for you to finally decide to take a leap of faith into a new life, and it will be so much more beautiful than the one you had before.
When you decided to change, to quit your job, how your parents reacted at that time? I'm
I
curious.
love talking about my parents because, so a side story. So I travel a lot around here because I do work in Southeast Asia. And last time I was in Penang and I went to a small marketplace and there was this girl who did beautiful earrings and handmade earrings and craft from traditional Malaysian design. And she's an entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur, have her own store. And I go to her and I ask her, so what do your parents think? And she was like in tears. Nobody ever talked to us about that before. So I think that this thing is very prevalent among female entrepreneurs, especially in Asia.
Asian girl, Asian
Especially in
entrepreneurs,
Asia.
yes.
And I love sharing about it because I think if we don't know how to navigate through this issue, it will hold us back for years. For years, because we're afraid to hurt our parents, because we're afraid to disappoint our parents, because we're afraid of being a bad daughter. How dare you, right? How dare you? I think the moment of reckoning comes when you eventually understand that you are the only person who can take responsibility for your life. I think people are afraid of hurting their parents because they think that their parents' happiness depends on them. That is not true. People are happy because they think happy thoughts. People are sad because they think sad thoughts. Thought leads to emotion, leads to actions. So eventually you need to know that your life's in your hands. It is you who need to choose to do whatever with it. And if your parents get anxious and worry, I think what people try to do is that they are so afraid, they get triggered by their parents' emotions. My strategy is always to tell the parents that I thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you love me. I know you do this because you love me. I am so grateful. And you go and you hug them and you kiss them and you love them and you tell them that, and I have a life to live and I will choose my path and I love you no matter what. I wish that you can give me your blessing and your support, but if you don't, it's okay. I still love you and I still will live my life. And I love you so much, mom and dad. That is my strategy. And 2 days ago, my mom called me and she was like, I still don't know what you're doing. What show are you on? And she doesn't get overprotective anymore because she gets that I want to be happy and I'm doing my best, and she gets that I loved her.
I know that you used to write a lot of poems too. And
I am writing a lot of poems.
And you are still writing them.
I am, yes. Wow. I am like writing a lot more poems than I do before, and I'm working on a poetry collection called Art of Self-Love.
Wow,
yes.
Amazing. And at what age did you start?
I made my first poem when I was 5. My grandfather, after he was retired, he became a poet, and I spent a lot of time with him when I was small. That's when I learned to love poetry. I think it is a beautiful art to express emotion. So sad that it's not very well known or practiced anymore in many countries in Southeast Asia, which I plan to change. So I'm trying to bring more poetry to Vietnam. So every time I do a poetry reading, like a lot of people in the audience cry.
Wow. Is it in Vietnamese or English?
In English.
English, wow.
English.
So from the young age too? Or it was you started?
I started in Vietnamese, but then now I sort of thinking English, and so my poems are in English.
Okay.
If you want, I would be able to, I can read a poem.
Can you read one?
Yes,
if you don't
sure.
mind, and if you have one in mind?
I can.
Okay.
So this is called I Hope You Love Yourself Enough.
Okay, totally in the theme. Let's go.
You like this one? Yes. Okay. So the poem is called I Hope You Love Yourself Enough. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
get emotional.
That's one poem.
Yeah.
I have many, many more.
When did you write this?
I wrote this one about a month ago when I was in Penang.
Oh, so recent then.
And in my work, I work a lot with women who are going through big transition in their life, and transitions are never easy. And many of them are the inspiration for this kind of poems. And when I write poems, I write directly to women like that.
Okay. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that you also teach yoga, you can draw, you can paint, isn't it?
Yes, I can dance, I can draw,
Oh
I teach
my
yoga,
God.
I teach meditations, I do different coaching programs for women to help them to create a career on purpose and passions, and I also do what I call high impact personal branding courses for leaders who want to tell their story and amplify impact.
What is, if you need to pick one in all your activities and your passion?
Oh, I
Which-
cannot.
You
I
cannot?
refuse to pick one. I refuse to choose. I pick all of them. And I really don't think that I have to pick one. I pick, if there's one thing I pick is that I pick a life that I live fully. I pick being alive and being free. And I think that's what we're all called to pick. What kind of life do you want to live? You ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to live? How do you want to live your life? That's the question that only you can answer, and eventually you need to pick that life. Pick yourself. Yeah.
Pick yourself first. That's
Yes.
the advice. And what are your core values if you need to choose 3?
Freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom of being myself fully and only be myself. Freedom of pursuing what I believe in. So that's number 1. Second thing is courage. Courage to lean into risk, to take risk as long as it is aligned with my soul. Courage to do things afraid, to constantly stepping out of my comfort zone to grow and evolve. And the third thing is contributions. I believe we're all born to make a difference. I believe that the thing that we most yearn for is meaning and purpose in our life. Those are the 3 biggest things. Yeah, freedom, courage, and contribution.
What is the thing you do in which you feel the most useful, helpful?
So this is, I feel helpful like this. I feel that I'm very aligned with my values doing this work. I think I have built in the last 5 years, built my life and career in a way that I constantly let go of whatever doesn't align with my values and only keep what's aligned. So I'm very blessed in a way that I wake up and everything I do in a day is what I feel very aligned. And it takes a lot of time and courage to let go. You know, sometimes you are in a relationships or in a career or whatever that you know that it's not aligned, but you're afraid of letting go because you're afraid of upsetting people, disappointing people, fear. But the key is to let go. Let go everything that no longer fits your life, no longer nourish you, that no longer makes you feel alive and free, so that you can make space for the thing that really fuel you.
Okay, so this is the end of the show. So thank you very much, Milena, for being here with me.
Thank you, Sophie.
And let's close with whatever is in your heart or mind. So if you want to say something, a last word.
Choose yourself. Make a decision on the kind of life you want to live and pursue them relentlessly and do it afraid.
Thank you, Milena, very much.
Thank you guys for watching.
Bye-bye.
I hope you love yourself enough to walk away from anyone whom you have to rip yourself in half so you can fit into their hands. I hope you love yourself enough to look in the mirror knowing that even when heartbreak cuts your bones, you are still beautiful. I hope you love yourself enough to pick up the pieces of your exploded heart and glue them back together, one piece after another, no matter how long it takes. I hope you love yourself enough to tell your friends you need help when you cannot take another step on your own. I hope you love yourself enough to make yourself a cup of tea when you back to your room at the end of the day and you know that tonight too you will sleep alone. I hope you love yourself enough to notice how the corners of your lips still curves that bright morning when you saw light dancing on a lake, to notice how even on your saddest days, your trembling heart still has space for joy. I hope you love yourself enough to not stay down after you fall down. I hope you love yourself enough to walk into the darkest place of your universe searching for light. Did you know the life force that makes a wildflower bloom is the same life force that runs through your veins with your breath in your molecules? I hope you love yourself enough to understand that you are loved by love itself. I hope you love yourself enough to know that even when you cannot feel love, love is still here, there, within you, around you, patiently wait for you to come home. I hope you love yourself enough to come home. But most of all, I hope you love yourself enough to forgive yourself for all the times when you did not love